What's up, fam? Welcome back to the channel. We are starting a new series called Meg the Builder because Zach and I just moved to Austin, Texas, and I have 1,000,001 DIY projects that I want to do in the house with a lot of the furniture that we have. We got rid of so much furniture to be able to move here from Vegas, as well as just like painting and things like that around the house, but it's going to take a while. We did get the go-ahead from our landlords that we were allowed to paint. As long as everything that we do in this house is reversible, renter-friendly, I think we're gonna be good to go. That's really like the plan here. It's just changing out a couple things here and there, doing a lot of like painting and a lot of DIY projects on furniture. This is part of my bed frame and it is the project for today. Today we're gonna be reupholstering my bed frame because it is this ugly gray color. Everything that we had in the last house was very modern, very black, white, and gray. And since living in a new build and just kind of acclimating to very, very modern aesthetic inside of that new build to kind of have everything be cohesive, I decided I really hated it. I hated it so much. I know that Zach kind of enjoyed it, but I am not a new build, clean white wall type of person. I'm not a really big fan of a lot of modern furniture and modern design. I like a lot more of a traditional look, a vintage look. I have this beautiful French provincial dresser that Zach just bought me when we moved here because I needed a dresser, and I love a furniture flip. I love a rehab or a refurb. Anything that is secondhand, that has the opportunity to create less waste, makes me really excited. And so that's pretty much the goal with everything that we're gonna be doing in the house and all of my DIY projects. It's gonna be like, how can we thrift it? How can we refurb it? How can I just give it a second life and make as little waste as possible? So today, I'm gonna show you some examples of like what I wanna do with this bed frame. I want to go for a much more like white linen, or like I'd say tan linen look. We have beige walls in here. I don't really have any plans to paint the bedroom yet, but I'm bringing in a lot of green into this room as well. And I think that having a more neutral base for the green and a lot of like the earthy and the jewel tones I kind of want to bring in is going to be nice. So we're gonna go to Joann's Fabrics. We're gonna pick up our fabric, and hopefully by the time I get back, the electric staple gun I ordered from Amazon will be here. Okay, before we go to Joann's, I do actually need to measure things so I can get the right amount of fabric. I'm just gonna take apart the rest of the bed and measure the lengths of everything because this part has fabric, but so do the supports that you probably can't see. Same with the bottom. So just getting a good idea of the yardage. When measuring everything, I want to take into account that with upholstery, I'm gonna have to wrap the fabric around. And I was talking to my friend Jess. I want to have enough fabric to wrap past these existing staples so they don't get in the way. So I want to wrap basically like, I would say like an extra inch over this. And so that's kind of how I'm doing the math with everything. We went to Joann's, got the fabric. I got 5 yards of this stuff. I think it's about 48-ish square feet, 48, 49. All I have to do now is I need to unscrew this little like piece of wood where the Velcro strip is for the slats, and it's just gonna be really easy peasy because all the holes are already there. So once it's upholstered, I'll just be able to put that right back. So I just need to get this off and have that flat surface for upholstery. My staple gun came in, it's charging up. The only thing I think I'm going to maybe run into an issue with is the fact that the staple gun did come with staples, and I expected that, but I didn't think about how many staples I would need. So I might have to go to Lowe's and pick up some extra staples depending on where this project goes today. So far, I spent about 101 bucks on the fabric, and the staple gun I think was like 30 or 40 bucks. So let's say 40, it's 140 bucks to just recover this whole thing. I think that, I mean, compared to the ones I was looking at Lulu in Georgia online that were like anywhere from 1,500 to 2K plus, with the existing bed frame that we already have, I think that's such a deal. Plus, I don't think that we spent more than maybe like 200 to 300 bucks on this original bed frame. All in all, it might not have the same kind of like durability, but just because it's from Amazon doesn't mean I'm just gonna toss it out. I'm gonna try to give this thing as long of a life as possible. Less waste, more projects. Let's see what I can do.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of chasing daylight here, so I'm not going to watch a YouTube video or tutorial or anything on how to do this. I'm working with very like flat, easy pieces, square corners, so I think that this is going to be relatively straightforward. We're just gonna wing this first piece and see how it goes. Because if it goes well, we're just gonna do them all. If it doesn't go well, then I'll watch a tutorial. I think I can get 2 more pieces from this, so I'm trying to give myself enough fabric to really make use of it, but also so that I can cover things really well, have some wiggle room for mistakes, but also like make use of this fabric to the best of my ability. Because it's expensive. We're gonna go for it. I think I'm gonna start here, and I think I'm gonna work my way around. Nice. Okay, first corner, it's a little messy, but on the back where it doesn't matter, because you won't see it, yeah. I think I'm like pulled a little too tight right here, not tight enough here, but I figured out the way I want to wrap the corners, and I'm like happy with it overall. Time to pull her real tight. I gotta say, for never having done this before, I think it looks pretty fucking good. I was starting to pull it really, really tight, and then I noticed because this already has like a cushion underneath it that it was gonna flatten it a little bit too much if I pulled it too tight. And I wanted to keep a little bit of the puff because that is, I mean, it's meant to have a little bit of shape to it. So I didn't want to flatten the shape by pulling it too tight. And I think it actually worked out really, really well. So we're gonna trim up the back, and we're just gonna move on to the rest of the pieces. I think I'm gonna do some of the supports next, so that if I don't finish tonight, I can still kind of put the bed together. Maybe we could sleep on it. It is now day 2 of this project. I actually got most of it done last night. I learned a lot in the process. Me and the staple gun got very acquainted. I did run out of staples though to finish the whole project, so I had to wait until today to go pick those up. But this, for example, is the bottom piece of the frame, and I already assembled the headboard, so I'm really excited to show you guys that. The only thing I have left now are these bottom pieces of the frame on the side, and then drilling the pieces of wood back into them to assemble the whole thing and put it all together. So I'm super stoked. I will say, last night I started rushing. I got to a point where I was just kind of like, I wanted to get this done. I was impatient, and so I wasn't like tucking the corners as pretty as I knew I could have. They still look great. Everything, like all the fabric is still really pulled tight. It definitely just got to a point though where I was just like pulling it tight and fucking stapling that thing. I was just like getting it done. So it still looks really, really good. I'm still very happy with it. I still tried to have some method to the madness on folding the corners in, but I know if I was just like a little bit more patient, I could have spent the time watching a couple YouTube videos and really acquainting myself with the art of upholstery and folding in the corners and how you're supposed to do it, and not just kind of like how I figured I would do it. But I think part of the fun is just figuring it all out on your own. I have no regrets. I have no regrets. My husband actually bought these shears because he started cropping all of his t-shirts. It's kind of cute. It's not like super cropped, like they're not cropped to the point they show his belly button, but I've been joking around with him a little bit because you know how like girls when we're younger, in our teenage years, a lot of us like we start cropping everything, and he's just like going through that phase right now where he's like noticing that just like a shorter shirt hits him at a better point on the hip and it's a little bit more flattering, so he's just been cutting up all of his shirts. I will say I'm like really impressed with him because he's definitely taken a really big jump into figuring out his personal style this past year. And he looks pretty cool. He's a pretty cool guy. There's definitely an art to upholstery. Like, it's definitely something that looks like absolute shit on the back when I do it because I'm not even trying to make the back look pretty because I really don't care. But people who do this as like an art form and they're like putting together the most beautiful like chairs and stuff, I am so impressed with them because the patience and the skill to make this really look beautiful, you gotta really understand fabric in this in a way that I just don't. I'm gonna do this last corner on this one, and then I'm just gonna crank through the rest, and then we're gonna assemble. So now all I've gotta do is put everything back together. I have all my individual pieces finished up. Headboard is hiding over there. It's gonna look fantastic. It's gonna be pretty much the only thing in the house that is gonna be like pretty and put together aside from my little corner with my dresser. But I think it's gonna look fantastic when it's done, so. Let's assemble. There she is in all of her glory. I'm gonna put the mattress on right now, and I'm probably gonna take some better videos in daylight just so you can actually see the colors together. Like, it's dark outside right now, but I have put her together. I'm so excited. I'm so happy with it. I wanted to film a whole outro for this video, but in the essence of time, I'm just gonna show you. I got the beautiful like linen duvet cover in. I'll flip the camera around because I'm just so happy with the color. Once the wrinkles kind of settle down, I think it'll look a little bit nicer. I don't really want to do a pillow mountain where I have just like several pillows. I really like the way that this looks nice and sleek, where it's just like one color, but I think I need to fluff the pillows differently. It's gonna come together, but with the headboard and this color, I'll like block that out of there. I'm loving it. We need nightstands, we need art, we need so many things. That mirror probably won't stay there, but overall, very happy with the color of the headboard and this beautiful dark green. Yay!